Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and it's Monday, which means we bring to you yet another weekly painting progress. And it's just me flying solo this week, but that's okay. I know Mr. Sparkle Trout did get some stuff painted, but he is off and running around in the Netherlands, I think, this coming week. Somewhere in Europe with my parents. So hopefully he'll have a couple things for me before this week is over. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, if you guys know of any interesting shops in that neck of the woods, by all means, please let me know in those comments, because I will be more than happy to guilt-tripping my family into giving them a shopping list. No, actually, especially comics. If you guys know any good comic shops in the area, I'm always in the mood for some nice European books. Doesn't matter what language necessarily, but if you guys have any suggestions, by all means, I would love to hear them. So, with that out of the way, now let's look at some miniatures, because yeah, I did paint a bunch of random stuff. There is no rhyme or reason to anything that I got done this week, and it is an eclectic mess, and that's the way I like it. So, I have had assorted piles of various historical guys laying around on the table, and this is super zoomed in, but it is a Victrix Dacian. I'm assuming since he's got his nice cape on, he's going to be a nobleman. And I don't have any of the fancy decals, so all of my guys at this point are just getting nice solid color shields. And we're going to continue to build up the forces of opposition against Rome, and I'm itching to play Lion Rampant with these guys. Gonna need a little bit more cavalry, though, for both sides. So we got a nobleman and a regular spearman. You can see I did an awful job. I don't know so much as it's my terrible painting, or just the cheap sealer that I like to use, not really cooperating with the color of the shield there. Very simple, very plain. But you know what, considering how zoomed in it is, I think once he's, seen from a distance, which we'll see later, I think they'll look pretty decent. And there's still more. There's still more. And I don't think I painted the little dots in his eyes, so I might go back and fix that up. And his collar. I think his collar should be a different color. But just a nice, simple, regular spearman to add to the mob. And not one necessarily to add to the mob, but a... what is it? Parry. I want to say this is a French footman from their War of the Roses line. And I believe I was channeling some of that old Britain's plastic knights with that purple tunic. They always had those purple and black knights, I remember. Those were like the bad guys, so to speak. Maybe like a billman? I don't know. I don't know my terminology, unfortunately, for a lot of my medieval figures. Okay, so the other week, I was showing you guys this Bestiarum Warlock type dude, and I guess I didn't really get the point across. I was totally channeling my inner Guilty Gear nerd fan. I thought, you know what? If I'm going to be doing like Guilty Gear style figures, why not just go look for the real thing? Of course, there are no technical licensed models for Guilty Gear for the tabletop, but that doesn't mean that there aren't industrious fans out there, and I had to paint up my main man, Nagoryuki. Now, I will be the first to admit my shading is awful. I was goofing around with some of those white contrasts. But I think for the most part, this is pretty dang close. And I painted another one by the same sculptor a while back. You can find that like on Thingiverse and Colts. And I'll let you guys search that out. I would love to give them a plug. But since they have done some sculpts of things that are not necessarily their own creations, I don't want to get them in trouble. But if you're curious, you are more than welcome to message me, because they are doing some really nice stuff. Some of the lines are a bit too geometric, but I think from a distance especially, I think it really gets the point across. Could I have done a better job painting? Absolutely. But I did like that I got his Kokoro on the front, and I tried to write it on the back, but the way his jacket is folded makes it kind of tough. And it's supposed to have his little keep out signs on his belt and on his shoulder there. I hate painting white. I really do. I think from a distance it'll look pretty good. I have him on a 30mm base. He's pretty tall. I'm okay with that. He's more in line with Conquest models. So I went ahead and painted up a very simple Praetorian. I wanted to get a good handle on what I was going to do. I didn't know what to do with the center of his shield. It's too big to be a gem, but I don't know. I was thinking maybe having the center be like different colors for different units. So like I guess the ones that are all going to be blue will be like actual Praetorians, but I know I built up some, and you guys were quick to comment on the fact that the Legionnaire models, the dual version of this kit, is not supposed to have the shoulder pads, but the spears and the smaller plumes. So I'm thinking what I'll do with those guys is give them like a red or a green or some other colored centerpiece on their shields, so that way they're more distinguishable for playing like First Blood. Yeah, you can see he's much more in line with the Conquest model. I think it came out okay. I never know what to do with undead. Like, do I want to really go all heavy-handed on trying to make them look all worn? I'm not good at that. I like, and this is just me, I mean, I like the very plain aesthetic. I don't usually go in for lots of heavy washes and weathering. I like that clean, toy-like look. Because, I mean, obviously, you know, the lineage of these guys being toy soldiers, little metal ones, I like that. I grew up with that, seeing that aesthetic, so it's always quite pleasing to my eyes. So hopefully I'll get around to painting some more of these guys. Still looking for those cataphracts. It's like every time I want to order directly from Parabellum, which we'll have the links to down below, it's like there's always something new, and I want all my stuff at once. I don't want to sit and wait and make a bunch of orders. I want everything like now, you know? I'm really bad about that. I'll have to give it a look after this video. Alright, another of the Elves of Iniath from Durgan Paint Forge. Maybe that's not good to get a little gold on there or something. I want to say this is like the Monster Hunter? I forget. He's got his little mask on there. I guess if I was a better painter, I would want to paint up those details on the mask. I tried, and it looked awful, so I just went back over it with the red. He is wearing a mask. Oh, poop, and I forgot to paint the strap on the back. And I had no idea what to do with his prayer beads. I should fix those up. It's kind of dull looking, to be honest. I think I went with the purple just to have a standout color. I really dig these models. I know their most recent Kickstarter that was quite successful was more larger size, you know, figure painter type stuff. I like the gaming size. I might have to pick up some of the STL files. I did order their special blind box thing. I'm curious to see what it is. I'll be sure to put it up. It's supposed to come out in September, so I guess keep your eyes peeled for that. Alright, what else we got? Because there's always more. I'm not happy with this guy. I think it did not come out good. I think he's just visually kind of a mess in terms of there's too much stuff happening, and I did a blah paint job. This was like an engineer, what is it, data smith? I don't remember their official titles. Marine type dude from the Asgardians for Atlantis Forge. I'm not happy with it. I think the yellow needs to go. I don't know. What do you think I can do to salvage him? Let me know your opinions. I think it's just a yucky mess. I'm not too pleased with him. On the other hand, his larger counterpart went ahead and did another of the bigger guys. I think he came out a little bit better. I'm not really happy with him either, but I think he's better. I've got a couple other ones that I am currently working on, along with the big dreadnought that Atlan did. Hopefully someday I'll get that done. I have like 3 big monstrosities currently on my table that are trying to get painted, and I keep getting distracted, obviously, by other things here. So someday we will get them done diligently. This guy I just showed off the other day, and I couldn't help myself. I actually started painting him like literally the day I finished filming this. This is the Rat Guts from Broken Anvil. I had to think about it for a sec. I mean, I'll be honest, if you make cool-looking Berserk-type models, there is a very good chance that they will end up on this channel. Just as a heads up. Of course, if anybody ever wants to do Super Robot Wars-type stuff, there's a good chance it'll end up here, too. Or obscure fighting game characters. They'll get here, too. In fact, there's a very good chance that there will be Biken from Guilty Gear as well within the next week. Hey, guess what? Not another week goes by without yet another Kingdom Death model. This is the male version of the Goblin King. There's a female one as well. How many times I've dropped him, I don't know. You know, from a distance it looks okay. That's the thing, my painting is quite sloppy, but I think from a distance it's got a shiny rear. Didn't get that gloss out of there, unfortunately. It was kind of hard to get to his face with the mask in the way. But slowly and steadily, all of my survivors are going to get replaced by the hotness. It'll be nothing but a beefcake on the table there. You've all been warned. And finally, to round things out, something I haven't had in a while, that is a Mierce model. I want to say this is a Savrark for the Chthonus, which were the Atlantean refugee exile faction of assorted lizard folks and things. Because there's giant turtles and other monstrosities. And basilisks. He's a big guy on a 50mm base. I think it's 50. Nope, it's a 60. I knew that. I think the regular ones are supposed to be on 50, if I remember correct, which is entirely debatable. But it's nice to have them done. I went very simple. I couldn't remember. It's been ages since I painted any, and it's a shame. I actually have a few Mierce models sitting around for the Inferni waiting to get finished, so maybe we'll have those show up in the next few weeks. I don't know. I'm starting to edge slowly but surely, getting closer to having to head back to school, so not looking forward to that so much. Kind of, sort of, but not really. So yeah, a nice steady pile of very varied models once more. If you're curious about where to find any of this stuff, by all means, we will have those links down below. And if you want to know where to get this guy, well, obviously a little bit of Google Foo is going to tell you to search for Guilty Gear STL files. And you can check out the work of the artist there. Like I said, I would love to give names, but I don't want to get anybody into trouble. So I'll leave your sleuthing to that. And hopefully I will reach out to them actually and see if I can feature some of their stuff, because I'm always down for more fighting game figures or obscure JRPG characters too. Yeah. So anyways, like I said, we'll have the links down below. You guys can take a look at all this yourselves if you want to start tracking this down. I know not the most physical prints this week, but it is what it is these days in the current miniatures climate. And also we'll have that link, as always, the one and only time I like to mention it is that we have a link for our Patreon. If you like the channel and you wish to support it, by all means, we are more than happy and graciously appreciate your generosity in that regard. So, with that said, this has been High Lord Tamerlane with Obscurities and Miniatures saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.